Yo, Shortbox Nation, this is Botter, and I'm here to tell you right now that con season starts early this year with the return of Northeast Florida's premier anime, comic book, and sci-fi event, Collective Con. That's right, Northeast Florida's largest pop culture convention returns for its 10th year on March 8th through the 10th at the Prime Osborne Center in Jacksonville, Florida. 10 years of Collective Con, they're pulling all the stops out to make sure this is a can't-miss event. And the guest list they got going, don't even get me started on the guest list. I mean, they've got A-list celebrity guests and voice actors from some of your favorite movies, anime, and video games like Elijah Wood and Sean Ashton, Ray Park, Trisha Helfer, Ross Marquand, Max Middleman, and Bo-Katan herself will be there, Katie Sackhoff. Tell me what other convention is giving you the opportunity to meet Frodo and Sam from Lord of the Rings, Darth Maul, and One Punch Man all under the same roof. Only at Collective Con. And if you're looking to get some of your favorite comics signed, or if you want to get an original sketch from some of the best comic artists in the world, well, you're in luck, because there'll be plenty of comic and creator guests there, like DC comic artist extraordinaire Clay Mann, Harvey Award-nominated illustrator John Taylor Christopher, Marvel and DC cover artist Chris Stevens, and acclaimed Star Wars author Timothy Zahn. They'll all be at Collective Con this year. And if you're looking to bring the family, or if you want to make a weekend out of it, you're in luck, because there'll be so much going on at Collective Con that weekend in the form of vendors, fan panels, video game tournaments, cosplay contests, after parties, and a bunch of fan events. You can purchase single and 3-day weekend passes now using the link in this episode's show notes, or by going to collectivecon.com to book your tickets and hotel. Buy your tickets now, and I'll see you at Collective Con, March 8th through the 10th. Now let's start the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Shortbox Podcast.
The Shortbox Podcast is recorded live from Jacksonville, Florida.
I should just go fight Tiger King.
Oh, yeah. Can we get the captions and it on mute?
All right, we'll go to extras.
Yeah, episode 1 was the better of the two, in my opinion.
What?
Right.
Episode 1 was better than the 2?
Of the 2, I think episode 1. So let's have episode 1 running, and it's 50 minutes, so it's a good timer for us. You know?
Can you reach over there, put it on mute, and then I'll put on the captions?
Deal. Wow, we are a well-oiled machine, ladies and
We
gents.
try to be as much.
All right. Well, let me go ahead and greet the listeners. Yo, Shortbox Nation. Welcome to a special bonus episode. Always nice to have you guys here with us. And, of course, to our new friends and listeners tuning in for the first time, welcome to the Shortbox Podcast. Thank you guys so much
for joining us. Thank you for finding us. I don't know how you Googled us, but thank you.
Hopefully them algorithms is working to our favor
Hopefully
for once.
you Googled funny and one of a kind. And then, boom, welcome to the Shortbox.
My name is Botter Milligan. I am one half of your host today. As you can tell, I'm joined by my right-hand man.
My name doesn't matter.
Well, actually it does, just in case anyone's like, man, who is that hilarious guy?
Don't worry about it. It's just a mystery voice.
His name is Andrew Torres, for those of you curious.
I'm that subconscious. Here's the thing. Call me subconscious because I'm in your head.
Ah, good point. Good point. You are in their ear hole. For sure.
Ear hole.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. See how? Yeah.
Why you say it like that?
It was kind of dirty. I'm sorry. It's really early.
I imagine if a doctor came up to me and was like, "Sir,
we found something in your ear hole."
I'd be like, "Doctor."
I don't know what the technical term, but you're like, it is ear cavity.
Yeah.
All right?
Canal.
Yeah. Canal.
There
you go.
Canal.
Thank you.
I was like, you don't listen to A$AP Rocky? Canal Street.
All right. But anyways, like I said, my name is Botter. I got Andrew here with me. And today is a special bonus episode because instead of our usual comic spotlights, full-on segments, we decided, because we're recording this the day after Thanksgiving, that we're going to keep it a little easy on ourselves and really just kind of have this opportunity to talk about the first 2 episodes of Hawkeye and maybe anything else that we've been watching. So, spoiler warning, if you haven't watched the first 2 episodes of Hawkeye, they are streaming now on Disney+.
Yeah, first get yourself a Disney+.
Yeah, that's pivotal. That's
or a family member that has Disney+.
That too. Yo, sharing is caring. So yeah, we'll be talking about the first 2 episodes of Hawkeye. Listeners, we're going to have episode 1 playing in the back just for fun, just in case we see any cool scenes, we'll reference those. So if you care to watch along, go ahead and throw on episode 1. We're about to press play here in a quick second. But like I said, I just want to make sure that you guys know this is a full-on spoiler filled conversation about Hawkeye. So if you haven't watched it, man, take a break. Or if you don't care, man, tune in and enjoy this type of commentary right here.
Yeah, maybe this is the commentary that makes you go, you know what? I'll give Hawkeye a chance. I mean, of course, it's going to be spoiled.
Yeah, you're like, you know what? I'm going to give this show a chance, even though I know everything that's going to happen. And my opinion is already formed on these two knuckleheads. But anyways, we're going to be pressing play on episode 1, Never Meet Your Heroes. And 3, 2, 1.
What a title name. Never Meet Your Hero.
Yeah, boom. All right, we got the Disney Snap, as Drew likes to call it.
I love it.
Hopefully the captions are working. Fantastic.
Music playing.
All right. Drew, all right, give me how did you feel about these two first episodes? How did you leave these first 2 episodes?
Long story short, I felt really great about them. I thought they were really amazing, and I still cannot wrap around my head that we have Marvel TV shows.
Really?
Like I
Even
know
though we're like 4 in.
I know we're 4 in, but it's just like, oh wow. Here's the thing, because I'm to a point now where I get more excited about the TV shows than the movies. Like, the movies are great, but the TV shows are awesome because I feel like they put a lot of thought and effort to it.
Yeah. I think it's something about being able to see all of the details and the pacing and the character development play out at a comfortable pace. Mm-hmm. Like, without the thought of, like, a time limit, you know?
Yes.
Like, you go, like, for example, I went into Eternals, and I won't lie, I could not stop thinking about the time limit. I was like, man, this is a 2.5-hour movie. So I'm already thinking, like, well, hopefully they get everything they need in this time limit, blah, blah, blah. But with these Disney Plus shows, like, you're kind of, that is off the table. You're kind of at ease in that sense of, like, all right, they've got plenty of time to play with a story, get me to care, et cetera, et cetera. Let me just go down for the ride. So, yeah, I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
I think I've been really impressed with, like, these Disney Plus shows.
Yeah. Does it feel like this is the one show that you feel like everybody's a part of?
What do you mean?
Just in the sense of fandom. Like, I feel like everybody's watching this show. I mean, that might be the case, but there's, like, when I'm watching this, like, I think because of the fact that I keep up with texting you and Josh and Blake and everybody, that it's like, oh, okay, like, everybody's on this show.
I think at this point, it's sort of like, if you are even a remotely a fan of the MCU, or you've got Disney Plus, more than likely you are watching these Marvel shows. Because I think they do a good job of marketing them. I think, and it also kind of adds value to your subscription, too. It's like, well, look, I'm paying for Disney Plus. I might as well watch the new shows they put out. And I think it's safe to say a majority of the people that bought these Disney Plus shows, that have a Disney Plus subscription,
or Star Wars fans,
are probably, definitely watching all the Star Wars stuff, the Marvel stuff. Because think about it, how often are you watching the old?
Every time I go to
the back catalog.
Every time I go to the comic book shop, there's always a Marvel movie in the background.
Sure. Shout out to Ben, right?
Yeah,
Who's
shout
always
out
got
to Gotham
Avengers.
City.
I feel like I've seen Endgame 20 times. But when I'm asking,
It's always the same scene too.
How many times have you watched, like, the back catalog of Disney movies, not MCU or Star Wars?
None.
Exactly.
Honestly,
I think it's a good idea.
I haven't watched my niece and nephew, so I haven't had to keep them quiet or whatever. Or it's like, yeah, you guys want to watch a Disney movie?
But I do want to get into this opening, right? Like, the fact that we're introduced to a young Kate, her parents. We get introduced to her dad, who's only got like 5 minutes of screen time. Mm-hmm. But I thought
very Disney-like.
Yeah, but I thought the inclusion, like them working her origin story into the first Avengers movie, is like it. I feel like Marvel is so good at putting the puzzle pieces together. It's like, these small scenes that, you wouldn't pay no mind, they're able to, like, make a whole story out of it. And I got to send this to you, but I found this clip on Twitter that compared this opening scene of the Chitauri, is that it? The Chitauri attack?
Chitauri.
The
Avengers incident.
Yeah, the Chitauri attack in Avengers 1 from Kate's point of view, in this scene right here where, her house is getting blown up and stuff, to the actual movie version where it's like Hawkeye's scene in this exact moment. And dude, it plays out so well because Hawkeye does look at a corner of a building. You do see like a little kid standing in the destruction of the building, and he's jumping off, he's doing his thing with the arrows, and it plays pretty much beat for beat when you compare it to this. So I thought that was like really cool, the choreography and like the thought of it, everything.
They're like, oh yeah, how do we make this? Like, and it makes sense. Like, it makes total sense, and it's really good. And it's not. It's definitely really exciting. I'm like, oh, okay, this is we're getting an origin story, but like it's not too overly dramatic, and it's just like, this is what's going on.
And I don't know. To me, I love that it makes sense that, like, her dad died in this attack. She's watching Hawkeye. Hawkeye literally saves her, but she's also watching like, you know, this regular dude at the pinnacle of like human capability, like fight aliens.
It's like
you know?
It's like
inspired. It's like, hell yeah, I want to be that guy.
This is like the craziest version of the Macy's Day Parade I've ever seen. Like where it's just like she's in a high rise, just enjoying her life, and all these dudes are
not
attacking.
caring the world, and your boy Hawkeye is out here just doing it.
Just like with a bow and an arrow. Just like, okay, how does she know where to look? I wouldn't even know where to look. I'd be like,
what's going on? Well, I guess when you're watching like this dude on the edge of a building get shot at.
Off.
And just jumping off.
Oh,
That's
what
pretty
a great
cool.
Scene.
Yeah, it's cool. So overall, you were pretty impressed. Like, did it meet any expectations that you had for the show?
Yo, this is Botter. Sorry for interrupting this episode, but I'll keep it brief. I wanted to let you know about a massive sale we have going on over at the Shortbox store on all of our merchandise and apparel. That's theshortboxstore.bigcartel.com. You can now save 20% off your entire order using the discount code YOO, Y-O-O. So if you've been waiting for the right time to finally buy that gauntlet snapback, or if you ever wanted to buy any of the shirts you see me wear on the podcast, well, now's your chance to get them for a steal. We still have a few sizes left of everything, but they won't last long, and once they're gone, they are gone. And then I mentioned that all of our apparel is screen printed on high quality material. None of that heat transfer or direct to garment stuff. Our shirts are some of the most comfortable ones you'll ever wear, and the hats look even better in person. So wear your support for the Shortbox Nation proudly, knowing that you're going to look damn good doing it. Get to theshortboxstore.bigcartel.com as soon as you can, and don't forget to use that discount code YOO, Y-O-O, to save 20% off your entire order. All of this information can be found in this episode's show notes if you want to get there faster. Thanks for not pressing fast forward. Now back to the show.
No, like here's the thing. I don't have any expectations for it at this point. Where I'm just letting Disney, like, hey, you just tell me a funny, just tell me a fun story, and we'll see where it's go.
So did they tell you a fun story these first 2 episodes?
110%. Yeah, it's definitely really good. I like the banter, the way that it's filmed. Just the fact that as a Marvel fan, and me and you have kind of like seen this play out in actual issue by issue. It's kind of cool that they keep hitting like all the great like notes of it. They're like, oh, okay, this is amazing. This is dope. This is dope. And it's funny that they started with this one and not a blip.
Yeah, they went back a little further. You're right.
Way, way further. Because everybody was over talking about how, like, all right, I'm tired of the blip. I'm tired of the blip. And it's just like, I think from the time forward, a lot of these new superheroes that we're going to have, they're just going to make references to any type of attack or a moment where something happens and it inspires them. This is clearly an inspiring moment for Kate.
So you're saying, like, hopefully they'll do a better job of just referencing other moments in the MCU rather than just, like, the blip. I do think we've, like... Even though you do got to give it credit that the
blip is like COVID. Everybody keeps referencing COVID. Like that's our reference point where it's just like half the population.
Yeah. The blip is also, I think it's probably the most important event in the MCU among like, and I'm sure that like at least top 3, right? Like as far as like giving us additional stories, setting up other stories, being a moment that's impacted a large group of the characters in the MCU.
The blip feels like Infinity Crisis. Like it in the sense of like you're like, oh, okay, this is
okay. I got to interrupt you right there because on the episode right now, listeners, we are now going through the intro credits is what I'll call it. And we get this awesome animated play out of like basically Kate's like
her montage, her superhero montage,
exactly. And it's like such a smart way of using like the credits because normally you're like, all right, hurry up, Chris, hurry up. But like you're watching her origin story play out. Like it's explaining exactly how she got into archery, exactly how she learned how to fight, get into a badass.
Yeah, if you're watching this and you don't understand what's going on, you need to basically pay more attention.
Yeah, just rewind it.
Yeah, because they do a really good job.
You're watching a motion comic book.
David Aja getting fucked out of his money. That's what I'm watching.
Like
it wasn't until you said something that I was like, damn, I really hope they make because Matt Fraction is a producer on this, but like no offense,
not David. That's what I'm saying.
That's like yo,
real quick. That's what not to beat a dead horse because we did talk about it briefly in the last episode, but that's what I was trying to get at is that Matt Fraction is a writer. So, and I feel like these shows tend to take care of the writers a little more by bringing them on board as like, a consultant, a producer, something that they can have a role in.
What would this character say?
What do you mean?
No, I'm saying like, yo, as a writer, like,
No,
yo,
I'm sure he could be like. I think as a writer, he could be like, "Hey, this is what I intended with my story.
Yeah.
Oh, this would play out really well. You could do this. You know, like I think he got a little more input. Not to say that David Aja wouldn't, because he's the artist, and I think he'd have just as equal input. But
I see nothing but his fashion. I know nothing but everything I see in here is David. What I hear is Matt Fraction. What I see
is David Aja.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where it's like you said, beneath Danforth.
Now, granted, I don't know. I mean, I'd have to triple check the credits. I don't know if they give David Aja any credit as like a design consultant art.
That's what I'm saying.
Capacity.
Yeah, they should give him that, because I see the fact that they have the costume designer and some other dude, and it's like, hey man, listen, I respect the fact that you have to make these. But you probably looked at this comic book and said, "Oh, this looks good. Let me see how I can make this."
Yeah.
And so you didn't design it; you were a costume maker.
Yeah. So I guess listeners, what we're getting at is when you talk about the inspiration for this show, you got to say Matt Fraction and David Aja's Hawkeye run from 2012,
and everything has changed since then. Because back in the day, you should just be nothing but the writers got all the credit, and it's like no. Like you got to give these artists.
These artists have been vocal, man.
Yeah, they're very very vocal with it.
Speaking of which, well, let me ask you this, because the episode we dropped last week was all about the 2012 Hawkeye run that this show is heavily influenced by. I wanted to ask you, is it apparent or obvious the influence itself? And like, where do you see it?
The credit scenes, the colors, the costume design, just like the way that they shoot anything. There are probably some scenes that they've just taken. The director or whatever has taken from the comic book and was like, "Oh, okay, this would be a dope scene."
And we've only seen the first 2 episodes. I know that car chase scene, the teasers that I seen for it, for like Drew, I'm telling you, it played out like beat for beat from the comic book,
dude. And the fact that she was talking about the trick arrows, like they made like first mention of a trick arrow, I was like, "Oh, okay, cool."
I realized that in these first 2 episodes, Jeremy Renner or Clint Barton hasn't picked up He's picked up an arrow, but he hasn't shot one yet, and I think that's going to be a big moment.
It's going to be like the Captain America Avenger Assemble.
Because right now he is still off. He's an off-duty cop right now. He's like, "Yo, I'm supposed to be off. I got my kids.
It's Christmas."
Yeah, and that's what I think that's the charming appeal for him in this is that. I think you said it best. He plays tired really well.
He plays John McClane so much. Like Hawkeye has now become the new Die Hard.
I love that his attitude in this is like, God damn it! They're pulling me back in. I don't want to do this. Like he's very reluctant to do any of this, and it's cool to kind of the glimpse that you see into his life where it's like, yo, he's a dad now. He's got a hearing aid. Like all this adventure has worn down on him. Like he's not invincible. He's just a regular guy.
He lost his best friend.
Yo, that's right.
He lost one of his best friends.
PTSD, and he's suffering from what any celebrity would. When he's in the bathroom and that dude's asking him for a selfie, and he's like, "This is really not the right time," and then that dude follows him to the washing his hands. Like it's an interesting perspective that I don't think we've gotten to see in previous MCU films, if I'm not mistaken. Like is the actual like, hey, this is what happens when I got to just go back to regular life. Unlike you guys, Thor, Captain America, Hulk, Iron Man, I've got a regular life to go to, and like we're getting to see like this is what comes with being a superhero.
Yeah. And the funny thing is like, yo, they're not hitting up each other texting. Like it's not like me and you where we're basically texting each other like, yo, how's your day?
I am so convinced being a superhero means like,
yo,
just not owning a phone.
No.
Like, I don't want to text nobody.
I don't want to talk to anybody. Nothing.
Well, here's the thing. First of all, this Rogers musical scene, I'm sorry, it's really funny.
Oh, hell yeah.
I could do this all day. Yeah, that shit is pretty funny.
I love when Jeremy Renner's like,
that guy.
Ant-Man, yeah, that guy wasn't there. He's like, that guy was not there. I said, holy shit.
Yeah, man. Here's what
I've made that face. Jeremy Renner's face right now in the current scene, he's watching the musical, and it's just him just going, okay, cool. This is not what it's like.
I mean, to be real, this musical scene, as funny as it is super cheesy. Like, imagine sitting through this and you're like, this is not how I envision like my Avengers, right?
And their costumes are just basically, it's so funny. Like, I've seen this at Universal Studios.
Bro, they look like if like H&M was doing like an Avengers line.
They're
it's like, very everyday like wear that happens to be
motorcycle jacket.
For sure. But Drew, I'll add to what you were saying as far as my impression after watching these first two was like, oh, okay, this is on the right track to being maybe as good as I'm hoping it will be. I do think that I did feel like these first two episodes left me wanting just a little more. I don't think we've hit like the point of like real danger or stakes are that high. I think that like the murder mystery kind of going on right now of the, who killed can't recall his name at the moment, but who killed what is his name?
It's Ducard. I think it's Ducard. Is it Ducard? I'm not quite
Butterscotch
sure.
guy. That's what I'm calling right
Butterscotch.
now. Yeah,
Butterscotch Pop.
Right now, that murder mystery isn't that intriguing to me yet, and the suit. There's still a lot of questions as far as like the suit I've got. As far as like why is it such a big deal? Why is the suit such a big deal versus what the actions of Ronan and Clint have done?
Oh, because I think the biggest it's because the suit is a symbolism and like a respect.
Well, it sounds like whoever rocks that suit, you've already made plenty of enemies. So maybe the point is that they don't know. No one knows it's Clint. Even though we got to see him without the mask, I got to remember that.
We know who it is, but it's just like, this character, and that's what they say in the newsroom. They're like, this character, Ronan, who basically terrorized all the crime syndicate and basically was like, nah, I'm just going to murder. That's another thing that's will probably be brought up. It's the fact that like Clint went on this just like murderous rampage.
Yeah.
Killed a bunch of people, and then they fixed the blip. So all these people that came back, and they just realized like, hey, where's my family? Like, oh man, listen.
I know my dad was into some shady shit, but where's he at?
For real, you come back and you're like, was he part of the blip? Like, nah, man, he
was part of the mafia.
Yeah, and he got cut up. Who killed him? We don't know.
It was a ninja though.
It was a ninja, and he fucked everybody up.
Everybody.
You're
bro.
lucky that you went to the blip. Listen, we were praying for you when you blipped out. We had no idea. So now you're the boss.
So was there anything that that maybe you feel like early on that you're hoping that they improve?
Improve?
Yeah.
Not like I'm telling you, this
was pretty much like a perfect opening for you.
Yeah, it was definitely just really enjoyable. I'm here for the ride. Like I was just like, I respect their pacing as well as like what they're going to do for it. They gave us 2 episodes.
It's 6 episodes, right?
That was my next question. My next question was like, how many episodes are there? 6 episodes? We're halfway there.
I will say I'm glad that they gave us these 2 because I'm holding out hope that these next 4 are really going to kind of like hit the ground running.
And we already see by the posters and everything that he's going to get a suit. Like at some point he's going to pick up the arrow because it's like him all posing and stuff.
Yeah. But I will say, as far as introducing a brand new character, that's what I'm saying. The first episode to me is probably the better of the 2 because you get a good balance of like, hey, here's where Clint is in his life. Here's where Kate Bishop is. You kind of get like that dichotomy of like, older superhero kind of settling into like, just wanting to retire, if I can use that phrase. And then you've got like young, energetic, like ready to conquer the world, like so much potential, but no arrow. I'm sorry, no direction. Oh, and their banter too.
And her banter is amazing, and the way the way I read her in the comic books is exactly how like she acts. Like everything she does, I'm like, oh, okay, she's very much like a smart ass.
I think the difference I've noticed between the way Kate is portrayed here versus in the comics, here she wears her fandom and respect for Clint a little more on the sleeve. Versus in the comics, like she's very like you could tell she respects Clint. She wants the best of him, but it's almost like she's got to play like the parent, because Clint's life is so fucked up in the comics or in that one particular. Well, yeah,
and that's the biggest difference. In the comic books, he's a bachelor with no kids, just very much like living this like carefree superhero life. Yep. Versus in this movie, he's like, nah, I got to get to my kids.
Yeah, I've already been doing
I want to be tired around my kids. I don't want to be tired around you. I want to be tired with my kids.
Okay, I guess since we're on the topic of characters, let's talk about some of the other characters that show up in this series. So, I think I'll right at the top, right beneath like the 2, title characters. They nailed the tracksuit mafia so well.
100%.
I almost want more. I wanted more scenes with them. Like every time they had to go do the suit stuff, I was like, no, I want to stay with the tracksuit mafia and hear these funny Russian guys like be terrible,
just do, like
be terrible
the
at their job. When Clint is like, guys, I can see through this bag. Yo, I lost it. I was like, these guys can't even get a bag over the face right.
Nothing whatsoever.
But the Tracksuit Mafia is on point. You were able to point out that Kate's mom is essentially dating Swordsman, which went over my head, but I'm so glad that the mustache did not escape.
Oh,
you.
yeah. I looked at that mustache and I was like, that's a swordsman. And then later on, when he's like looking at the sword, I was like, oh, yeah, listen, I know that look.
You're like, if you ever needed enough evidence to make that correlation, it's like, well, let's see. Mustache, check. Love of swords.
What's his name? Swordmaster?
Yeah, Swordmaster.
Swordmaster, okay.
Swordmaster, for anyone listening that might be not familiar, in the comic books, he is the guy that originally trains Hawkeye to, be as good as he is at archery and fighting and whatnot.
Hawkeye's origin is he grows up in the circus. Like
he's a carny.
He's a carny, and him and his brother, both him and his brother, who is another brilliant archer as well. They grow up and become carnies.
Yeah. So in this show, he is played by and for the moment, I don't think they haven't called him Swordsman, of course, yet. But I mean,
no, they just call him by his name.
Yeah, which is Jack Duquesne. Yeah, Duquesne. Yeah, Jack Duquesne, who's played by Tony Dalton. He is Kate's stepdad, which
and he has that stepdad look to him.
Oh,
like
for sure.
Straight up stepdad.
Try
look.
too hard, but also like. I don't know why I don't like you, even though you've got all these qualities that my mom, I'm happy for. There's just something about that mustache,
funny.
bro.
Yeah, because it looks like it looks just like her dad. It's just like he has a mustache and not a beard.
Yeah.
So, and then just like and he plays like and his acting is really good
Tony Dalton.
because you can tell that he is holding back his tongue and he's just being very pleasant. Like, he's just very much with the pleasant. Anytime he's talking to Kate, he just smiles at her, and he's like, you can tell that he's in his head talking shit.
Oh, he's like, ooh.
I would fucking cut
boy,
you.
what? If your mom was not here, this would be an easy match. Yeah, I mean, he even
You're
tells
looking
her.
at Matt Brown because I'd have the belt.
Yeah, because, Kate was winning that fencing match pretty easily, and he even tells, he even says, like, yeah, the only thing I lied about was how good I am.
Yeah. He's like, oh, you're good. He's like, you're good. He's like, wow, you're amazing.
So to kind of get back, so what else? I think as far as like characters that were introduced, oh, of course, how the fuck could I forget one of those important? We got Lucky the pizza dog.
Here's the thing. The only problem that I have with is that dog looks way too good to have one eye. Like, I was like, yo, for that dog to be like a...
well, I mean, in the comics, it was
stray?
a golden retriever.
That's what I'm saying. It's a golden retriever, but yo, it's a stray. It's living out in the streets. Like, yo, I want some like muddled fur. I want to basically like, yo,
wow,
that dog.
You think the dog looks too good?
That dog. I was like, yo, that dog's well fed. Like, yo, look at the dog's hair. Look at the dog's hair. You're like, yo, that dog has hair and makeup. Like somebody's assigned to that dog.
That dog's fur is like. Yeah, what have you been eating?
Yeah, and
your owner has put fish oil in your meals.
Fish oil. That's what that.
Good for.
Yo, I want to know exactly how is that dog have really one eye? Or is that CGI? Is that like a CGI one eye? Because that dog is like perfectly like one eye. But
yeah, it could be.
That's my only bitch. Like, listen, you're like, yo, this is what you want to bitch about, the damn dog.
I'm glad they got it. They got it out the way pretty quick.
Yeah,
too,
they're
right?
like, here you go. This dog likes pizza.
Yeah,
and
it's
that's
like boom. Yeah, it's like I know this is what all you fucking comic nerds wanted to see was this goddamn dog. Guess what?
Here's the
one
dog.
eye. First episode, I think in the first 30 minutes, and guess what?
Yeah,
he loves pizza.
Fourth episode, I'm gonna put a bullet in him.
Whoa, Drew, what the hell?
Hey, listen, you got to bring some controversy.
This is Disney. They're not going to do that.
Oh, you don't think Disney kills animals?
Name?
Right, parent animals. Yeah, if this dog was a mom, if this dog was like a single mother raising up a baby puppy, yeah, they like.
I mean,
boom.
You had a point there.
I do.
What would you say out of these two episodes is your favorite moment or scene?
Honestly,
is there like one that stands out?
The kind of the reference in the sense of like when I called you, so Kate Bishop's first appearance is Young Avengers, and in Young Avengers she starts rolling around in Hawkeye's outfit, and that's what basically garners attention because you have this little kid that's running around,
and to set it up, at this point in the comic books, Hawkeye is dead.
No, he's Ronin.
Oh, I thought he had died.
No, he came back. Remember, he came back after House of M.
Okay, that's right.
But his suit was littered with arrows, and then later on, he's Ronin. That was a big reveal that he was Ronin.
And it was like a big secret. Like I think the Avengers kept it a secret. He was still dead, but he was Ronin. And you're right. Kate Bishop ends up picking up the Hawkeye mantle even though like the world believes. There you go. The world believes Hawkeye is still dead.
Well, they saw the Avengers event where he died and sacrificed himself. True. Like he went through this whole big sacrifice.
Hawkeye's always been. He's always put his neck on the line.
Oh, 100%.
He steps up to the plate.
100%. So, I like the fact that they made that reference in the sense of like she's just rolling around in the Ronin suit. So you still have that direct relationship between Hawkeye and Kate. Now, it's not the Hawkeye outfit, but it's still an outfit in question that Kate puts on, and then Hawkeye's like, all right, I gotta go investigate this because I don't like this is you got my name. It's like copy infringement or whatever.
It's like, yo, this is a copyright.
Hey man, you're using my beats.
Oh, for sure.
I'm gonna need to get paid.
Yeah,
and make sure that you're beating up the right people.
Yeah, you're using my image way too well.
100%. So I just like that reference to that where they kind of show the costume, and then that whole fight scene, like they do a good job establishing that she is not some sort of pushover.
No, not all. Yo, she handles herself pretty well between like the tracksuit model. I think on twice. The minute that she picks up the Ronin costume in that wine cellar. And then even after she leaves, and his name is Armand Duquesnes, I believe, the one that the murder mystery, this whole murder mystery thing. But yeah, Kate is not here to play. And I mean, if you're paying attention to that opening animated credit scene, you know that she is a skilled archer. She was what they said a black belt at the age of like
15.
Yeah, something young, so she can handle herself well, and it shows. I'm glad that they like showed it too. That's like, yo, she can fight. She doesn't necessarily need Clint per se, but I mean, like she's still rough around the edges.
And then also she's actually really resourceful as well. Because like even in this thing when Clint just abandons her, she's like, all right, well I can just do this myself.
Well, I don't know, and maybe I don't know how close this is to the comics, but her mom, Ellen, which her name is Eleanor Bishop, played by Vera Farmiga. She runs a security company, Bishop Security. Because I was wondering what that app was that she was using, and I think it's
it's part of her. Yeah, she's part of her. She was like
the Bishop Security, so she's got access to everything.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. She plays dumb very well. Because when she's like Clint's like, oh, I'm just gonna call you. That's what I'm saying. She's like, I'm just gonna call you just so I can have your number.
Yeah.
But like it's clever because she's
funky,
like, she's like, oh okay, like I'll have your number. I'll be able to track your number. Like no, and she doesn't use it till last resort. It's not like she goes above his head and says, "No, I'm gonna do this." First, she goes, "Hey, ready for our team up?"
Yeah. She's not impenetrable. She doesn't have like plot armor. Like she can still like when the cop calls her, it's like, "Hey, where? Your house, like your apartment burned down. Where were you?" The fact that like she's kind of fumbling tells you that she's still got a lot to learn. She's like I said, she's got the raw talent. She just needs direction and a mentor, and that's what I'm excited to see is her like get better and better as the series progresses and Clint eventually warms up to her. But I do enjoy kind of like that friction between them two, where it's once again like Clint like, yo, you don't want this life, I don't want this life anymore. But we both know that it's going to get to that point where he got to accept her as a she's not going to back down. I do wish that they would have explained, because when Clint purposely gets caught by the tracksuit mafia to return what looks like the suit, when Kate falls through the roof, and what did that tracksuit dude say? He was like, Kate Bishop, bro. She's a she's a bro, or Kate Bishop is a bro, and Kate's like Clint's like playing dumb. He's like, no, I don't know Kate Bishop.
Yeah. She falls
roof,
down,
and then that tracksuit mafia bro was like, bro, I found her. But I noticed that she was already in her costume.
I part of it, not her, not her full costume. It was like a cheaply made version. She has like 3 costumes in here. She has the first one that she like when she takes off the Ronin suit. She has like a.
She's got a sweat. Wasn't it like a sweatsuit?
Yeah, it's like a purple. It's all like
purple
color references of purple and sweatsuit, and then from there she kind of puts on like a more hardcore, like esque Metal Gear Solid type thing, but she hasn't gotten like her suit.
Another scene between them two that I liked, and I'm kind of just recalling them as they come about. But when they're walking down the street, Clint, right before Clint gets her number, right as they're walking down the street, and they're walking by, it looks like Times Square, and they walk by all of the like photo shoot opportunity, kind of touristy superhero trap thing, like where the people dressed in superheroes taking photos, and she notices that like the Hawkeye impersonator is kind of lame. I like that it triggers her. You know, like Clint's like, whatever, I've seen it all. I don't care what they say about me or how they portray me. But I like that she sticks up for him. Like, you know what? Your problem is branding, and she's trying to help him. Like,
oh my! I'm so glad you said that.
Like, yo, you could, because like for her, it's like, nah, you are. Like, you're the one. You're the best, you know, Avenger in my eye. Like, yo, you are at the upper echelons. And I'm glad that, like, you like once again, I love that you're seeing that she wears that fandom on her sleeve and that respect. Because for her, it's like, yo, I want everyone to know how great you are and whatnot. And I think that's more so, like, kind of a commentary on how a lot of people, I mean, even myself, I've made the same joke. It's like, yo, it's Hawkeye. It's a guy with a bow and arrow. But Hawkeye is worthy of, you know, attention and praise because he is among, like, you know, literally gods, you know, tech billionaire geniuses, like, you know, the whole Captain America, like these other very unachievable kind of characters that only achieve these statuses because of, you know, either they were born that way or they kind of came about it through unnatural means. Hawkeye is 100% USDA, like homegrown beef,
yeah,
baby.
for real.
So it's like the fact that
I was raised in a carnival.
Yeah.
Like, yo, I know that struggle.
The fact that these like characters respect Clint in such a way, and like, you know, he represents like that upper echelon of just like human, you know, what a regular guy can.
He's
achieve.
the little guy.
Yeah, I'm glad that like Kate sees that and she strives to be that. Where it's like, you know what, with a little hard work, dedication, like I can be, you know, I can do that too. So I'm glad that they portray that a lot. But that scene between them, and I think it kind of goes to your point. Anytime that they have good on-screen chemistry. So I'm getting
that's
long-winded, but they have great on-screen chemistry.
Yeah, it's like Jeremy Renner, Hawkeye's character, just is very, very good. I think Jeremy Renner, just as an actor, is really good. Like, he's very good at portraying just like, hey, I just want to do my job, and I will train you. Like, I see something in you, and that's what he does like throughout his entire series. Like, a lot of his decisions,
right, because
like, he doesn't go shoot first. He's very much like, he uses his brain a lot.
And maybe that just comes with the territory of being an archer. Is like, I've only got a finite amount of, you know, arrows. I can't just be firing them off willy-nilly. I don't have like a repulsor ray that, you know, generates on its own. I've only got 10 arrows.
My shield doesn't come back.
Exactly. Unless you got a boomerang arrow.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, it kind of goes with that territory of always being methodical, calculating, and whatnot. But like I said, Drew, I think for an introduction, this was a good introduction. Like I said, it left me wanting a little more. Like, I want to know where the stakes are. I kind of wish like maybe they established like one major threat in this. I think we're kind of playing around with like some of the threats.
Yeah, because you don't know. I think at this point right now, the fact that you are you've read this, you already in your head go, okay, I know who the bad guy is going to be. And
how do you feel about the inclusion of kind of skipping well ahead to the end of episode 2, where Clint and Kate are now, you know, tied up and hostages of the Tracksuit Mafia? The lead bro goes into that room, and they don't say it, but that is Echo, played by Aliqua Cox.
Oh, that is Echo.
Yeah.
Okay, I was trying to like see like who she was in reference.
Which to me is still an interesting character to include in the MCU. Not only, well, maybe not. It's maybe not so crazy anymore, right? They've been including everyone.
She was such a tiny character. She showed up in Daredevil. Here's the thing,
she was an Avenger too.
But that's what I'm saying. She didn't start off with that. It's just one of those like, yo, it's a character that like has the exact same points as Daredevil, and then they kind of like, all right, well, they like it's like a farm system. They slowly just was like, okay, this is like a superhero. This is how we're gonna do it. And now they're like, okay, Marvel's like, we need more diversity. Mm-hmm. Oh, we do have this character that is deaf. That is deaf and like deaf and a woman.
Yep.
And she can fucking like she's standing toe to toe. Yeah, she's a badass. Let's see what we can do with that.
Yeah.
Because it's like I know exactly what you're talking about. That feeling of like, because you know what it is. It's her costume is not extravagant. She's not loud. She's deaf.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
like that's what I'm saying. Like I was like, wow, I can't believe a street level, because she to me is like a C-list, D-list superhero. Just because of the fact that she's low level, she hasn't had anything, and now in the last couple of years, they have basically farmed her to superhero status. Jason Aaron's got a hold of her, and they've basically made her the Phoenix.
I'm telling you, and maybe this is very obvious, but I think when you look at the comic books now, you can kind of see certain trends, like to your point, where it's like, this character is starting to show up in a lot of things. And I think that comic books are usually a precursor. Like they use the comic books to kind of like push certain characters. Like, hey, we're thinking about maybe including this character in this show. We need to start putting out stories to get ahead of it.
I think this character was created by Kevin Smith.
Yeah. So what I know, because I don't think I read that Daredevil run. I only was familiar with Echo when she started showing up as Ronin in the Avengers run.
She showed up in Kevin Smith's Daredevil with
David Mackey.
David Mackey as well. David Mackey as well as Joe Quesada.
Oh, yeah. So what I know about her character is that she was trained to be an assassin by Kingpin. Ends up, I think, not only like, fighting running into Daredevil a lot, but I think they also have like end up becoming like a love interest, right? Like they have a relationship.
Her and Daredevil?
Yeah.
Yeah, they first meet.
When
they first meet, he's just like, he's in awe of her. He's like, they're both deaf, so they're able to have
not both deaf. She's deaf. He's just blind.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
The peanut butter is his jelly.
Yeah, definitely. So they're not both deaf.
Sorry. Bad joke.
So that was the thing is he's like, they were able to have a conversation. He fell in love with her, and classic. It was very much like
it's a classic Daredevil trope where
Typhoid Mary, Elektra. She's
all of
just
his
like
love interests can kill him and wanted to kill him at one point. And Andrew, I'm kind of diverting a little bit, but not really. I kept thinking Daredevil when watching this show. Like thinking about the Netflix Daredevil scenes, and a few reasons. The obvious one takes place in New York. You're dealing with like an obvious kind of crime family element. Like there's stuff going on in the background being controlled by a crime family.
There's no reason why he can't show up as any of their lawyers.
For sure. It would fit, right? It would just fit that you're dealing with like some shady crime family type thing. You've literally got a fucking ninja with the Ronin stuff.
That's the thing, and that's what you want. You want that. Do you want Marvel to recast Daredevil, or do you want them to keep Charlie Cox?
Charlie Cox is already... Now, granted, could they probably find a really good Daredevil guy? Yeah, probably. But you know what? Why? It's like Charlie Cox has already got a loyal fan base. He killed it in Daredevil. It's obvious that they just needed to do a little more of that show. With like all of those shows. Because I thought even like the casting for Luke Cage was on point. Casting for Jessica, like all those Netflix Marvel characters, I like the casting. It's like just obvious,
and
that
they can
it felt
fit.
so
they can fit in here. All you have to do is just change the filter a little bit. Maybe give their costumes an upgrade, and then they can fit
for sure.
In here.
There's a lot. But the rumor is, and I say all that to say that this feels kind of like Daredevil. You got Echo that is a Daredevil character. There is a rumor that Vincent D'Onofrio might, very minuscule chance, might show up. And it might just be an internet rumor. Might show up.
But here's the thing: if he does, that'd be great. I hope he shows up and he starts dating Kate Bishop's mom.
He's gonna take it away from fucking
it's like imagine Kate Bishop trying to get in a fight with him. He's like, I heard you wrestle. I wrestle a little bit, and they just start wrestling.
I'm looking at the IMDb casting for Hawkeye, and Tony Dalton is credited as Swordsman. So this series, you've got Swordsman, you've got Echo, and
that's obvious for us. And that's not that's not obvious. Like when I saw it, I was like, oh, okay.
When she puts her hand up against the speakers, it's like, okay, that is what she does a lot in the comic books, is because she's deaf. She like tends to feel for sound and things like that. I don't think she's had a particular power. I think it's kind of similar to Daredevil in the sense of, since she's lost one sense, her other senses are very heightened, and then you've got like the ninja training and the assassin training. So yeah, I'm curious to see which one of them, maybe all of them, are legitimate threats that give me that feel of like, the stakes are high.
Yeah,
is Hawkeye really going to get to his daughter? Fulfill his promise? And you know what? As minuscule as that is, it's like this is where Clint Barton is in his life. It's like he's just got to get back to his family. He made a promise to his daughter. He's got to get back to her.
He's like Die Hard. I was like, it's Die Hard.
And you know what? This show did put me in the Christmas mood big time. It made me to the point of like, I kind of want to go to New York before Christmas just to like experience this vibe. And maybe that's where the Daredevil thing comes in, because I think Daredevil, one of those seasons is kind of taking place during Christmas.
Yeah.
Drew, what are you hoping for? What are you hoping that they do in these next few episodes? Whether that's introducing characters, any plot lines. I mean, what are you hoping that they do?
Two things I hope in wise in the sense of when it comes to plot lines. I hope we get I really hope we get a updated version of Hawkeye Clint where he has the mask. That's just me.
Oh, like the eye, just the eye mask?
Just like, where he has like the big H in his forehead, and it just like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, I want to see if they just like, I just want to see if they just mention it, or if it like shows up, I just want to see it because it's just I want the full-fledged Hawkeye costume. And they do some really good references to it. So I want to see that. I want to see what other characters are going to show up that are deep in the Marvel MCU that I'm like not aware of. Swordmaster, or he's definitely great, amazing, and the only reason why I know about him is because of a lot of the 80s and 90s Avengers. And what's even cooler is he's an integral part in the Avengers. Like he's a big part of the Avengers. When it's who is it?
Mantis.
Yeah, the whole Celestial Madonna, the whole Celestial Madonna stuff.
Crazy and weird.
It's definitely crazy and weird, but it's just like, okay, cool. I'm so glad that they have that character. But what there has to be like 2 or 3 more characters that are going to show up. This can't be the only one.
Yeah, but if these are the only ones, as long as they do these characters right and they make sense, like as long as Echo is legitimate, I feel like they have a good opportunity to make Echo, because Echo's getting her own series. So I wonder if this will be like the introduction. Hey, she's badass. You won't know more about her life and growing up and that training until you get to the series. I'm hoping that is the case, but I'm hoping Echo is a legitimate threat and is a badass. I hope that we get more scenes with Clint and Kate, and we get to see like their bond grow stronger. But I'm also here just to see a fuck ton of arrows, of like crazy trick arrows. Like
I want a bag arrow.
I want to see all of it, man. I want to see punching bag arrow. I want to see boomerang arrow.
I want to see TikTok arrow.
Like I can't wait to just kind of see them like really play into the marksman and archery. Like he's the Avengers ace archer.
Do you want to see him
do?
Do you want that? Do you want an inner monologue where they're breaking down? Because one of the fun things about reading comic books and reading the Archer is when it's like everything's against them, and then they're breaking down like what it's like to be a bow and arrow. Because you like that one scene where you're talking about like that one famous person that shot 4 arrows.
Oh yeah. Issue 2.
Yeah, and that's the thing. In the book, this show's not going to have an inner monologue at all.
Yeah.
There's not going to be a little thought bubble. It's not going to be another thing, and that's what changes a lot of it. You're just relying heavily on their characterization, the way that they're acting. So one thing I'm like, man, I wonder if they're going to do that. I don't think they would, because it would just be definitely weird for them to kind of like, all right, when I pull the bowstring, it's like this many pounds weird. Like that. But it's fun to read.
For sure. And I think that's why comic books are still a fun medium. And that's why like it's cool that these two things can live side by side, because you get like a different flavor of each one, right? But comic books are fun in the sense that you could do things that would be awkward in like a live action show, like those inner monologues you were saying. Or getting into the character's head, like literally, like hearing their thoughts and how they process things. But
yeah, because Jeremy Renner would be so funny. He's like, I'm so tired. It'd just be him the entire time. Like, what's he thinking? He's like, I'm just tired. I want to go home.
I want to see, now that I am absolutely, we absolutely know that as swordsman, I'm curious to see like him in full action. Because like you said, right now it's just a facade. He's playing a role. He's holding back. But I wonder what they do with the costume, because the costume in the comic books is kind of silly. It's like this purple with like these a shoulder pad armor, and he's got like that kind of Roman gladiator looking helmet,
like a shark fin.
Yeah, so I wonder how they give that a fresh update. But hopefully we see more of like these peak human kind of I guess athletes is what I'll use. Like you got an ace archer.
Yeah, this is like the USA Olympic team. All these people right here. Like Disney Olympics right here. Yeah. 2023, this
exactly.
is that.
So it's like, I hope Swordsman is just as good as, with all weapons, as Clint, where it's like a legitimate, like, it's a battle of wit and skill at this point.
I think we're definitely going to get a Jeremy Renner swordsman battle.
What?
Because in the what was it, the first episode? Or was it the first or second when he's like fighting on the LARP dudes?
Second episode. Clint's got to go back and get it.
He's like, I'm going to fight all these LARP dudes. And he has the sword, and he's just doing work with it.
Yeah.
He's doing some really good hits and stuff, so it's like, all right.
But overall, I'm just hoping that we really kind of, they put the pedal to the floor, and then we kind of really get things going. First 2 episodes, good introduction, left me wanting a little more, but not bad in the sense of like, establishing characters and getting that initial building, kind of world building going on.
Yeah, I love the ranking system in the Tracksuit Mafia. Like, if you have a red tracksuit,
you're just a regular dude.
You're a regular dude. But if you got that black with that red piping,
oh, come on.
Oh, you're leader.
Well, I mean, granted, this dude is like 7'5", 400 pounds of just like muscle. But, and you know what? I don't think
this
I mentioned.
Gives me go ahead.
My favorite scene in this is when they find Kate's home, because Clinton is asking her, like, did anyone see you with this suit? No one saw me with this suit. But then she was like, well, I did have the suit when I came to my apartment, and my apartment has my name listed on it. And next thing you hear is, Kate Bishop, bro, come out, or something to that effect. And they throw that Molotov cocktail. I just love how that little quick sequence, even though you had seen it in the trailer, Clint bashes out the window, catches that Molotov cocktail, and throws it right back.
Catches two dudes on fire.
Yo, and when they light that one dude on fire, and they're like, yo, bro, you're on fire, bro. And then they eventually get him out, and they're like, bro, you were just on fire. And, they're like, so like, look, man, I need a minute. What did he say? You were like shish kebab just a minute ago. So as far as the comedy,
mostly thugs just kind of move forward and they kind of try to.
These guys actually care.
They care about each other.
All right, Drew, I think we are at a good stopping point because this episode, right on time too. Episode 1 is wrapping up. So listeners, if you're tuning in, right on time. Credits are rolling for this first episode, and I think me and Drew have said everything we need to say about the first 2 episodes of Hawkeye. Looking forward to episode 3 and the rest of the series. Of course, thank you guys so much for tuning in, man, into a special bonus episode. Next week, we'll get back to our regular scheduled program and, how we do things. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Hopefully you guys had a great Thanksgiving and holiday and whatnot. And, always happy to provide some short box content for you. Drew, you got anything to say to the people before I sign us off?
Nah, man, I'm just really happy to be here. And I hope you guys enjoy the next 4 episodes as much as we will.
Damn right. Well, there you have it, Short Box Nation. That's what we got for you this week. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure to come back next Wednesday. We'll have an episode. We're doing a special episode, actually. We're going to invite a good friend of the show, Warren Evans, a.k.a. Bard of Darkness on Instagram. If you don't follow him, do yourselves a favor. Find him on Instagram, give him a follow. We'll have him on the show to talk about the Simpsons superhero, Radioactive Man. I know, a little different than what we normally do, but it's going to be a good time. So make sure that you're subscribed to the show so that way you don't miss it when it drops next Wednesday. And of course, I do want to mention, if you live in Jacksonville or the surrounding area, if you're a Short Box Nation listener, a loyal fan, a friend of the show that lives in the area, we are doing a live show Friday, December 10th. Tickets are free. We'd love for you to be a part of our live audience. We'll be recording a live podcast at the Brian Gooding Planetarium at the Museum of Science History here in Jacksonville, Florida. Register for free tickets using the link in the show notes, okay? Like I said, come be a part of that live studio audience. We're doing a show about Spider-Man's Road Galleries. We'll have some new merch, and we'll be rolling out a sneak peek of this short box project that we've been working on for years. It's vastly different than anything we've ever done, so you won't want to miss it if you live in Jack's surrounding area, or if you're willing to fly down. Come be a part of this live short box studio audience. With that being said, I'm going to wrap us up for real. I want you guys to enjoy your day. Take care of yourselves. Stay tuned with us. Stay tuned to the show. Follow us on social media to see what we got going on. And most importantly, take care of yourselves, all right? And please continue to make mine and yours Short Box. Peace.